Welcome everyone to Hot Topic Tuesday. Legal Leaders, I'm Zach Sooty, joined by Al Fragnoli. Al, we don't have much to talk about this evening, but what we do have to talk about is very interesting. Um, the recent news of the Jacksonville Jaguars hiring strength coach Chris Doyle, and then immediately terminating his employment. Urban Meyer definitely had a say in who was brought on board. Um, what do you think of Urban Meyer's decision to bring on someone like Chris Doyle, only to have to make the change and terminate his employment? And um, do you think ultimately Urban Meyer will have success with the Jacksonville Jaguars? And then with the hire of Chris Doyle, and then the ultimate very quick firing of Chris Doyle, um, do you think he's Urban Meyer's already lost credibility with his team and perhaps um, you know, questioning his moral reasoning?
Yeah, well, interesting questions there, Zach. First of all, not a lot to talk about. I guess this will be the first time in maybe 2 months we don't talk about Tom Brady, but that's okay. We've got some good stuff here to talk about. A lot of questions that you tied in right there. So, um, boy, where do we start with this? Okay, so Urban Meyer, I think he is a great college football coach, and when I say great, I just mean wins and losses here. Um, for the NFL, I think we touched on this a couple of weeks ago after he was hired. I didn't think he was going to have success in Jacksonville, just because I think a lot of times it's very difficult to see a college coach go to the NFL and have success. It's really a different breed, right? You're managing egos a lot of the times there, and I think some of the times those coaches that are successful at the college ranks really struggle when they move up the next step. And so that's what I thought would ultimately happen. With this happening in the recent news here with Chris Doyle, who was fired from the University of Iowa, one of the highest paid strength and conditioning coaches in college football. He was well respected until everything that transpired this past off season and everything that came out during the spring and summer with him being a racist and making derogatory comments throughout his tenure to African American players that came through the university is really disgusting in my opinion. And I don't know what Urban Meyer was thinking, Zach. I really don't. You're getting your first opportunity to coach in the NFL. So you ask, has he lost respect of his players? Probably. You know, a lot of them, especially the minority athletes that are on that team, I don't see how they could respect somebody like that who's going to blatantly hire somebody that just got fired from their last job. And we talked about this earlier. I think everybody can agree that people deserve a second opportunity in most cases, but not getting fired from a good Division I football program and then going to the next ranks and making it your first job in the NFL. I think that is horrible. If he were deserving of a second chance, it would, in my opinion, need to happen at a high school level or junior college, D2 school, something like that. Not almost a promotion here. This is ridiculous. I honestly have no idea what Urban Meyer was thinking in bringing him on board. And Zach, we want to talk about Urban Meyer here again. Wins and losses, college, great, awesome. But as far as his character and what he's doing as a coach, I honestly think that needs to be questioned now. I believe he started at Bowling Green. It didn't seem like there were too many issues there, but a small school. You go to Utah when they were in the Mountain West, I believe, and did well there. And then he goes to Florida, has success at Florida. But you got to remember, in his time at Florida, Aaron Hernandez was there, and I'm convinced that he knew some of the stuff that was going on. There was talks that there were murder charges and beatings that Aaron Hernandez was involved with when he was on the football program at the University of Florida. And I firmly believe that a lot of the coaches and I think Urban Meyer knew this stuff was happening. And he turned a blind eye to it because the wins mattered more than somebody's character, and that's ridiculous. And then the same thing at Ohio State happened. He's protecting one of his assistant coaches when a domestic violence charge happens and is pretending like it never happened. Then he lied, about it. So to try and cover it up. and then this comes about with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, I think Urban Meyer lasts maybe 2 years. I think he's already lost some of his players, no doubt about that. I think they're going to struggle over the course of the next year and probably into his second year. And he might not even make it through his second year if it gets ugly here. But, shame on Urban Meyer for even hiring Chris Doyle. And again, I just think his Urban's character needs to be looked at strongly and questioned here with what's happened of late. Zach, what are your thoughts?
Very quickly, Urban Meyer, not a huge fan of him, never was. I've always questioned his character. I think he did look at wins and losses more than he looked at the character or the people he was bringing in. Um, you know, I wish, I think in leadership, it's very important to understand right and wrong. It's very important to have a strong ethical barometer or moral compass. Um, and it's amazing that some individuals who are very high ranking, whether they're college coaches, CEOs of organizations, um, that understanding right and wrong and doing the right thing is hard to come by. Um, and I've never been a fan of Urban Meyer. I don't think he's going to have success in Jacksonville. I think hiring Chris Doyle was questionable. I think now his players are going to question his decision making because ultimately the reason he was fired in Iowa um, was unacceptable. Not the reason was unacceptable. What he was allegedly doing, saying, the actions he was carrying out is absolutely unacceptable and shouldn't be accepted. And like you said, it shouldn't be a promotion to the NFL. I'm glad that the NFL players had a voice and a say, and I think they had a lot to do with Chris Doyle. I don't want to see anyone lose their job, especially when he was offered a job and almost immediately revoked. But I think for the Jacksonville Jaguars, it was a win for their players, their minority players, and I, I I think it's good for football that um, that they get a strength and conditioning coach that is deserving, that has respect for everyone, high integrity, a moral compass, an ethical barometer. And I think there's good people out there who do good work that deserve that job, and whoever gets it, I think will be well deserving. But I think Urban Meyer should have vetted that much more. I think the organization should have vetted it much more, and shouldn't even have been a factor or in the news. I hope to see more leaders make more ethical decisions. Um, or be more ethical and not sacrifice the people for wins or losses, and support the people, all of their players. But in short, not a fan of Urban Meyer, never really have been, always question his character and his decision making, his ethics, and I don't think he'll be successful in Jacksonville. um, so we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But Zach, I think you nailed it right there too. Is um, it kudos to those who stepped forward when they saw a wrong here and made sure um, that he didn't start coaching in the NFL and that position was immediately revoked from Chris Doyle. But just unbelievable, in my opinion, what Urban Meyer did. No, not acceptable at all. So, but we'll see what happens with him in Jacksonville. I don't think he's going to last very long, and this will be the end of his coaching career. So, anyway, moving.
Al, real quick before we
Yeah,
move on, is there a dislike even more on your part because he was Ohio State at one
I was
time?
I was waiting for that to come out. Honestly, it's not. I know he can't say Michigan. He can't even say the state of Michigan. He refers to University of Michigan as the team up north. But it is what it is. I no, my dislike for him is not intensified because of his time at Ohio State. I'm disappointed that Jim Harbaugh never beat him when Urban Meyer was here at Ohio State. But no, I'm looking at the overall character of individuals, and I think his 100% needs to be questioned. He's not a good character person. I think that's pretty cut and dry right now. But anyway, Zach, we'll transition into our second question of the evening here for Hot Topic Tuesday. J.J. Watt, well-known player, Houston Texans, been a great role model for the city of Houston and the Texans organization, a great face for the organization. He wants out, and it seems like the Houston Texans are spiraling downhill really quickly with that organization right now. So he wanted to be released. They released him. There's a couple teams that are on the docket. Your Pittsburgh Steelers, and we've heard their name mentioned. He's got both of his brothers that play there for the organization. Where do you think he ultimately ends up?
So, first of all, how about JJ Watt and what he did for the city of Houston? It's absolutely amazing. Sad to see him actually ask for a release. It's a shame that the Texans couldn't give him more of a supporting cast to win in Houston, and I think the same for Deshaun Watson. I hope that if he gets to stay, that they support him. But there seems to be a downward spiral in Houston for whatever reason. Um, as for JJ Watt being released, um, his landing spots. I mean, some of these teams I've heard Cleveland Browns. I've heard the Titans are now getting involved. Um, his former teammates. Aaron Rodgers lobbying to get him in Green Bay. So I think JJ Watt has a choice to go anywhere he wants. I think he wants to win, but I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers have cap issues. So unless he's really coming into Pittsburgh for a discount, just to play with his brothers, TJ and Derek, who are already in Pittsburgh, that'd be kind of cool. Steelers compete. They were competitive this year. So does he think they have an opportunity to win next year? Does he make that leap to join his brothers and try to win in Pittsburgh? I think that's tough. I think that's tough. I think playing with your brothers that would be pretty epic in the NFL. Three brothers on the same team. So I don't know if that's going to outweigh an opportunity for a championship. I mean, if Green Bay wants him, is he productive? I don't know if he's going to be as productive either. I think 10 years, whatever he is in the NFL. But you put him in a good defense, maybe he'll be more productive. I'd like to see him in Pittsburgh. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to go to a team that has a better opportunity to win, and I wouldn't be surprised if I saw him in Tampa Bay or Green Bay or something like that. I see a smile on your face. You probably think he's going to Tampa. I'd love to see him in Pittsburgh. I think it'd be cool. I think the Steelers can compete next year. I don't know if it's enough to get him in Pittsburgh, and with their cap issues, I don't know if they'll be able to get him. So final answer, I'm going to say, I'm going to go Pittsburgh number 1, Green Bay number 2, Tampa number 3.
Okay. All right. We're not gonna wrap up this episode without talking about Tom Brady. So with that being said, that is where I do think that JJ Watt's going to end up. I mean, you nailed it, Zach, is where is he going to win now? And I honestly think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are pretty loaded and they're primed to be right back in the same position they were this year. I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, or be in the Super Bowl, but they're going to be in the postseason. And as long as Tom Brady's there and that core nucleus is there, they're going to have an opportunity to compete at the highest level. So I think JJ Watt goes there, maybe Green Bay. I don't think he goes to Pittsburgh. I think it would be special, as you mentioned, to play with both your brothers. Can you imagine 3 brothers on the same team? And it brings you back to memories as a kid, I'm sure, and playing in the backyard and tossing the football around. That would be special. But I think he wants to win a championship more than anything. And I think that he's going to end up in Tampa or Green Bay. I'm going to lean with Tampa there. That's going to be my sleeper pick. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. And, the 2 questions that we brought up, I'll wrap it up with this, is we've talked about 2 individuals here, Urban Meyer and JJ Watt. Probably complete opposites when you think of a character standpoint. We talk leadership all the time. Urban Meyer, again, great when it comes to the wins and losses, but characteristics and leadership qualities definitely in question. JJ Watt, as we talked about, role model for that community and what he's done for the city to give back and use his platform to give back to the community is pretty special. He's a strong leader. Urban Meyer, not so much. So I'll wrap it up with that point. But anyway, that wraps it up for Hot Topic Tuesday. I hope everybody enjoyed our conversation here on Urban Meyer and JJ Watt. And we look forward to seeing everybody next Tuesday. And we hope you join us this upcoming Sunday as we talk to a writer for a blog, Red Wings on Tap, Brandon Gunn. But thanks again for joining us tonight.